Hey, welcome to Back in the Dave, and I'm your host, David Knight. And I know everyone is surprised. Everybody's like, what the hell? Where the hell has this guy been, you know? And it's been a minute. I know I've been missing in action, and I did a email blast to everybody on my email list. So if you're not on the list, you don't know. But letting everybody know where I was, what I was doing, what I was up to. It's a new year now. And I think I did the last Back in the Day episode in November, I think it was. And man, there was just so much going on. You know, everybody knows, I'm tired of talking about it at this point, the crazy chronic acid reflux, the crazy chronic anxiety and panic attacks, you know, dealing with this stuff for year after year after year, just began to really bear down on me. And I could no longer just pump the brakes and kind of keep going. So I had to just hit the brakes and friggin' stop, right? And just stop. So I just said, Dave, just take the time out and just do nothing. No music, no episodes, you know, no nothing. And that's pretty much all I've been doing. I'm going to talk more about the show in a few minutes, but for those who don't know, one of the things I'm doing, I'm changing the format of Back in the Day, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I'm mentioning this part of it now a little bit because it's on video. So new Back in the Day episodes are going to be on video, and they're going to be audio the way they've always been as well. So those who are watching it on video on YouTube and Facebook and all different places, you're actually getting to see my afro, right? It's like I have this big freaking afro, which for me is like kind of weird because I haven't had an afro in, oh boy, I have to say 30 years, 31 years, somewhere. I began cutting my hair in my late 20s, early 30s, you know, and so I have this afro, and it's kind of like wacky right now because I don't know what I want to do with it. Like, I had these ideas, I dyed it a little bit, that's okay. The dye's kind of coming out, so the gray is coming back in. So it's kind of like, it's kind of wonky right now. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. I bought myself a hair lifter, okay, a hair lifter. You know, back in the day, they would call a pick or an afro comb, right? But so that's one of the changes. Back in the day, it's going to now be video and audio. So let me just kind of rewind for a minute. I just want to talk about my afro for a quick second and just kind of pat it a little bit. I haven't pat my afro in about 3 decades. I can actually pat my afro, right? So check it out. So I had to pump the brakes. We're in a new year now with 2022. I hope everybody had a great holiday season. I hope everybody had a really, really, really great new year coming to 2022. All the new year stuff, and we're now, this is February, and this is now Black History Month. I had a whole bunch of stuff planned for the new year, for the Christmas holiday, everything. I just stopped it all. And so many times I wanted to come back in and just say, hey, you know, this is what I'm doing, everybody. But every time I came in my studio to work, my body just went, oh, God. I started getting nauseous, my eyes started hurting. I mean, all of these symptoms just started happening every time I walked in here, and I just couldn't handle it. I was so overloaded, and my body was just so highly stimulated. I just had to stop. And I got with those who saw the Go to Bed stream that I did back in October. You met my health wellness coach, Christina Wakefield. And her and I were talking, and I said, you know, I got to stop. She said, I think you really should because, you know, you're killing yourself. If you really want to do this, you really have to. If you really want to be there and serve, you know, your fans in the way in which I know you do, Dave, you need to just kind of stop or slow it down to a crawl. And I said, you know what? I'm not crawling. I'm either doing or not doing. And so I decided to not do. And so I apologize for all these months that I've been missing in action. No episodes out, and I still see people are watching. I'm over 100,000 downloads now on the episode on Back in the Day episodes, which I'm so thankful people are still watching. But I'm jumping back in, and it's going to be great. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm in here now, as you can tell, recording it, and I feel pretty damn good. The panic and anxiety, all that stuff has dropped down significantly. So much so, I actually drove over the GW bridge and nothing happened. No panic attacks, nothing, no anxiety, nothing. I just went over the bridge. like old day, like back in the day, how I used to just drive over a freaking bridge and there was no issue. That happened earlier today, and you just don't know the freedom to get in my car again and just be able to drive places that I have always driven my entire life. That's a blessing. So I'm happy about that kind of stuff. Acid reflux is down quite a bit. Voice is coming back. I have a good friend of mine who is a phenomenal singer. She's working with my voice, helping me get my throat back because my throat is still kind of messed up. So as you all know, I was never the world's best singer. But when you have acid reflux just burning the hell out of your back of your throat and you're going hoarse and all kind of stuff happening on the back of your throat, I need help getting my throat back and my voice, what little voice I do have, back to at least to where it once was. And she's going to work with me to get my voice back, and we've been doing that. So I'm in here doing all of my vocal coaching stuff and that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. I'm having fun doing it. So that's happening. Other thing that's happening is working on the album still. So let everybody know, working on the album. That's going. There's this one song I'm doing called The Awakening. Oh man, I'm gonna come back in and do a live stream probably next month. I'm not in full capacity yet, so I'm not gonna front and say that I'm feeling 100% perfect. No, I still got some pings and pops and stuff going on, and I can't jump back in right away because if I jump back in, it's going to all start bubbling up again. So I have to start easing myself back in the way I've been doing, and I'm going to do that. So I'm hoping to start back into doing at least one podcast per episode. If not, I may do every other month or as I see fit. As I work on the album, been working on the album quite a bit. This one song, The Awakening, started out as a classical song, but now it's like this dance groove with strings and stuff. I can't wait for y'all to hear it. So I may come in next month and do a live stream with that and put it on the podcast. So a lot of good things coming up. But I wanted to just kind of come in and let everybody know where I'm at and what I'm doing. Like I said before, so let me just elaborate a little bit on the new format of the podcast. So the old back in the day podcast that I've been doing for the past 5 years, we're in the 5th season now. And I'm going to kind of bring some parts of that back into the new format, but I'm doing an entirely new format now. And it's going to be a lot more based on my music, how I write music, how I produce music, but also bringing in other artists, other people that I know, singers, songwriters, producers, and talking to them and interviewing them. Also, I want to continue to work with health and wellness stuff as well. So that's going to be a stronger part of it, but also culture. Because to me, music and culture and dance and art and all those things kind of go hand in hand. And though I'm in the music side of it, there are people in my world and in my little itty bitty world that I occupy who are phenomenal cooks and chefs and artists and dancers. And I want to bring all of that. So the new way of back in the day podcast and also with my music is all about building this community of music, culture, and healing into one community. And it's just all going to be grounded, and it's going to all be grounded on culture and music, you know? And so that's where I'm going with the new podcast. I hope everybody likes it. It's not going to be as much of the top 40 music from back in the day that we used to love and everything. I kind of have something else in mind I'm going to do with that because there's too many internet and ASCAP police and people like that. You're playing the music of the Commodores on your podcast. You can't do that. You're playing the music of Earth, Wind, and Fire. And you can't, it's just annoying, okay? So there'll still be all the stories that I tell, all those things, but all of the top 40 music and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to have to pull out because the police are just annoying at this point, So I'm doing an entirely new format of the show, of the Back in the Day podcast, and it's going to be video as well as audio. So when you see it launch on iTunes, you'll also see it launch on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and those places as well, okay? So I know I've been gone for a minute. I'm going to still be gone for more minutes, but I won't be as gone as I used to be, or as I have been. I will be bringing myself more and more back into the picture with the podcast, with the streaming and the music and stuff. I'm really excited about the album. I mean, I have some phenomenal musicians working with me on this album, and I need a name for it, but we'll think about that a little bit later, right? So I want to just come in and just put an episode out for this month. I know I missed last month also, but this is the new year. Happy New Year, 2022. Oh, 2022. I'm going to be 60 years old this year. Oh, that's like a mind blower. I'm going to be 60, right? 60. Like, I don't feel it at all. I don't feel 60. I don't even feel close to being 60. But yeah, I'm going to be 60 years old. 60 years. 1962. I think about that. Like in 1962, think about it. 1962, Kennedy was president. Martin Luther King Jr. was alive. Malcolm X was alive. Michael Jackson was 4 years old. Okay? There was so much that was about to happen and explode in the coming years. The assassination of President Kennedy, the assassination of Malcolm X, the assassination of Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy as well. And then the Jackson 5 coming on the scene and Motown blowing. I mean, all that stuff. Like, wow, that was happening. Like the song My Girl was born and released the same year I was, 1962. There you go. One of my favorite songs. One of the first songs I remember ever hearing as a child at my grandmother's house. I remember I would hear My Girl playing in the background, my grandfather playing his music. I'd hear My Girl playing in the background. And one of the first things I always keyed into was that boom, 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 that bass, and never knowing at that time that that would be my road, my path in this world. And I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy to share it with all of you. I'm very excited to bring Back in the Dave into video. I don't know all in terms of how I'm going to do it or make it all happen with the new format. I'm still formulating the new format, right? I'm still formulating the format. But I'm going to do it, and it's exciting. So yeah, it's just, so everybody hang tight. Hang with me. I just wanted to come in and just put this first initial 2022 episode out so you guys can know where I've been, what I've been up to. I'm okay. You know, nothing's happened. Only thing that's happened is that my afro and my goatee and my can't grow a beard is out of control. Like my so-called beard and goatee and mustache is like all puffed out. You know, I like it. I just wish it would grow in full. Like if it just grew in full, I'd be a happy camper with it, but it won't. Like my dad, his didn't grow in full. His grew in a lot more than mine, but nowhere near. So that's it. I'm gonna just wrap this one up for now, and I believe I haven't made a decision yet, but because I've been putting, for those of you who have been devout Back in the Dave subscribers and listeners to the podcast since 2018, 2017, whenever I started it, you know I have been tussling with doing the episode on my band Chase, because Chase didn't end very well, and I've been angry about that for, I guess, 40 some odd years now. And I had an epiphany a few months ago. I think it was back in December. And I want to share that. So I think I'm now ready to do an episode on my band Chase. And you can hear the music that we were doing at that time. It's going to probably blow your mind. And I plan to do updated versions of these songs as well. So I think the next episode of Back in the Day is going to be about my band Chase. All right, so we'll see. In the meantime, I think I'm going to get an episode out next month in March, but if not, most likely definitely in April, so hang tight. I'm going to be moving at a little slower speed because I don't want to jump back in. One of the biggest mistakes I made in healing from this panic attacks and anxiety and this chronic acid reflux is every time I started feeling better, I jumped back in head first. And every time I did that, it would crank up again. And I did that year after year because I would start feeling better and better and better. So I would just jump back in, and I'm back in again because I don't like not doing music. And it has been very difficult to not do podcast episodes. It's been very difficult to not do streaming. It's been very difficult to not write at least one article a month to put out to all of you and say, hey, what's going on? It's been, I had to really just had to have a come to David moment and just like, yo, sit your black ass down and do nothing. Don't go in that room. Don't turn on any gear. Don't do jack. And that's what I've been doing for the most part. I still come in here, but I turn the lights, I look at all the gear, and I look around and go, hang out, guys. I'll be back. So I'm coming back. I'm not coming back in full force, but I will be coming back slowly but surely. And as I start feeling better and better and better, I'll come back more and more and more as long as it's not taking me in reverse again. My goal is to be rid of chronic acid reflux and chronic stress, anxiety, panic attacks before or by my 60th birthday, which will be August 18th of this here year. All right, so let me stop doing what I know I do all the time, which is ramble. Let me stop rambling, all right? And say thank you guys for being a part of my life. Thank you guys for being a part of Back in the Dave and hanging with me with all these episodes. I think you're going to enjoy the new format as I mold it and shape it over time, so hang with me. Give me your feedback on the new episode as well, because I needs to know, right? So give me your feedback as I start putting them out on the new episodes. And I'll be starting doing the live streaming once again as well, my Thursday nights. And I got people that you're going to be meeting here. So it's not going to be all about me. It's going to be all about building community and bringing all the fans, Back in the Day fans, and my David Knight composed music fans into my community and build a community with music, healing, food, dance, culture, so much stuff. That's the goal. And boy, oh boy, I can't wait. In the meantime, in between time, y'all be good. As my grandmother would say, keep on living. Night out.